Good morning and welcome to Renegades Radio Aftershocks. I gotta change the name of that. So I'm going to run through I'm gonna start with this guy. I just finished a night shift, so I'm a little tired, but I'm gonna go through my crystal entity things, and I'm going to record. I'll start recording shows like after work or something, because I'm having a horrible time actually broadcasting normally. So let's join the queue here. Almost done leveling this one up. So far behind. Yeesh, that's loud. There. Maybe that's too quiet. There we go. LZ. Oops, got a little too close. I'll leave that for now. So despite having like Mark 15 weaponry, they're still only purple. So crit D 10. Crit D demonstrating. You can. I was broadsiding much more than I should with a weapon layout like this. You got the morphogenic pull-around weapon and a normal omnidirectional pull-around beam. It's not that great. Perfectly usable though. And you get an energy torpedo. And what I actually should do is do this. Move them over to this side. So the energy weapons fire first, then your energy torpedo, then your projectile hits. So let's switch over to my primary character. I think it takes me about 90 minutes to get through all these. And Gnebig is going to have to wait till later. My primary character. Let's clean up from yesterday. I just rushed through everything trying to get it done. It takes 5 minutes each, then a little bit here, a little bit there. Salvage that. Very rare, count on you. Salvageable. I got plenty of these, so I can salvage it. Very uplifting music. Let's see, what do I got here? Let's go to the bank. Count. I'm really far behind. Here we go. That guy, that gear. Alright, let's ramp everything up to 15, shall we? Oh, unequip. Unequip. Or equip. One, two. So I made sure I tried to get as many things as I could to ultra rare before I went up to 15. Someone did statistically that you can get, it's better to start with a low mark and then try and get your, that's when you start putting in your, you get the accelerators for the rarity, and then once you get the rarity you want, then you can do the technology points, and then you just start dropping Phoenix like crazy. Because those guys that have epic and everything, they work their butts off to grind all the dilithium they need to get the Phoenix boxes, or if you want to do the superior upgrades. And sometimes that's a good thing, because you can get a superior upgrade to get you just over the line. You're not wasting Phoenix to get, say, you're here 32,000 technological points totally accumulate. Now if you were way the heck over here, you wouldn't use a Phoenix. Because the Phoenix is, if you watch over here, this is where you really need to know your 51,000 technology points. Standard improvement chance. So at 158, I know I can easily do 1, 2, and 3 upgrade, and a little bit of overflow, not that much, and that just goes towards your max where you try and get your rarity increase, which I'm not really concerned about right now. My concern is getting everything to 15 for the damage bonus, which is actually substantial for when I look at this one. This is a regular phaser beam that's been crafted. I intended to give this to a science or an engineer, but they have their own. This is a beam sport. So you got crit D times 3 times damage. I could, if I had the resources, change all those to damage through re-engineering. So if you look at the phaser damage, 606, so that's 484 per second. If I was in space, we'd have different numbers. Look at this one, which is kind of close to the same. This one has more damage, and this one's an over 426. Just for fun, let's update this one. Rate upgrade. I got double points for that one, so all I needed was 1. Claim item. We compare this one. You crit D, damage times 2, and you're over 496 compared to the current phaser rigs 484. Let's swap that one for that one.
You will be able to trade it. Continue.
Yep, continue. Yep.
Continue.
Unequip. Unequip. And unequip. And I actually like it when it's kind of slows you down like this, because it forces you to do what you're doing. It's too easy to screw up and start dumping crap you don't want to do. So it could. This is a crit D times 4. It would take quite a bit to change these. So 408. It's currently 351. So that's 40 extra points. Let's see, that's a 10. That's like 1/7, so like 15% increase, which is, hey, a 15% increase. Considering how many of these things I'm throwing out the front of my ship. That is not inconsequential.
Claim item.
So we currently have a 408 DPS, 4,000 phaser damage, and the 78 per second for 10 seconds. So that's 100 extra 780 damage. So it's not inconsequential for smaller targets. That would be a big ouchie. So put that in that side. Oh, almost did. Here. It's currently 372. Could go up to possibly 433. So 433, 372. So that's another 60 per second. And that may not look like much, but every little bit you increase compared to how many shots you're going to land, your crit severity, your crit chance, for one. Let's look at this one here. This is 414. You can see it's got the crit D and the damage. So tactical, it's a really good idea to do damage because you hit that attack pattern alpha. That's where your damage is really going to hit high. Crit D, it's good. It's an extra 20%. It's better than nothing, right? I'm not the type that says, well, it doesn't do exactly what I want to do, so it sucks. Well, no, it doesn't really suck. It's just really not ideal. Crit D is great would be great for my science officer because she's got probability manipulation where the crit severity just gets freaky ridiculous. Alright, now this current app weapon 481. So I have the keeper. What else can I do here whilst we're doing it? And I play pretty defensive. So we'll upgrade that to 15. Now, look at this. 9,166. It could go up another 10,000. And being an escort, shields are good. 2, 3, that took 4. So reduce all energy by 10. Reduce anti-proton damage to shields by 20%. Cap app. Now, just for fun, Let's see if we can change this to current power regenerative. So here, put it back on. Retaliatory coronal shield ejection. 295 shield regeneration every 6 seconds. Reduce all energy damage to shields by 10%. Plus I've got the cap increase. And it's got 10%. It's a covariant shield. Those covariant shields, if you remember, are the really, really tough ones. So instead of only reducing AP damage, it regenerates its shields faster, which is a really good idea for an escort. What else can we play around with? Deflector rates. It's good for this one because I'm in a destroyer which has a shield drain ability, so Drain X is good. Control X would be a bonus. It's got a hull capacity bonus. Let's go to equip. See, I don't mind going over with this guy, because eventually I tend to get, I think, gold for him anyway. So just to compare, hull scraping, because I use the pilot skill, every time he slides close to somebody on a really close broadside, 384 kinetic damage, 100% shield penetration. So you're basically smacking against them. Speed here, plus 24.8 flight speed. If I got to epic, it'd be still 24.8. Ram initiative 204. So it doesn't really do a whole hell of a lot. The only thing it's going to get when you go to epic is you get another modification. So it's fast and it's got speed. Other than that, I really don't need to sink any more into it. You do like sinking money into money. The future's somewhat different. We don't have money. Alright, let's compare this. Even at like Mark 12, as long as you've got amp, which means you've got it up to ultra rare, you get that additional 7% of your engine power to your shield power's bonus power, 7% of additional engine power, and at the bottom here, above the part of the Bajor defense set, you can see 3.3% all damage per subsystem with 75% more over current total 0, because I am a dead stop on a station doing next to nothing right now. So there's like one plus 20 to plus 21, just for the sake of argument. Move that up to 15. Upgrade. So plus 10 hull capacity, shield capacity, plus 40 shield or starship control expertise. And the bonus is, even if you don't have control effects, it's resistant to same. So if you want to have a stubborn ship where it's not getting affected by science abilities, that might be a good thing. I'm not a PvP player a lot, but I am kind of big on, if I'm going to hit with something and one shot it by something lame, I want to have protection against it. But drain expertise is a real bonus for the destroyer, because it's got that shield grabber. So plus 42.5 and 10.6. Now, it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you think of it in terms of percentages, that is a 6% increase in starship hull capacity. And let's see, stats. The base hull for the destroyer is 56. So if you think plus 10% here, plus 10% there, we're talking 500 here, 500 there, and it adds up. When you have weapons that are doing 500 points of damage per, that might be the difference between having that one split second to pop up power, hit engineering team, evade. You see how fast that shot up. Let's compare here. So your sustained radiant field is plus 23.8 bonus to outgoing hull heals, and 11 to all damage, almost 12% to all weapon damage. So that's another 12%. Every time you shoot, every time your weapon does damage, it's an extra 12%. You know, small things. A plus 23.8 to bonus shield hulls. For an escort, that's really good because escorts have less powerful shields. It's like 0.9 or something compared to 1.1 for. It will go up to 25%, one quarter bonus to outgoing hulls. So for every 100 points you're healing, you get an extra 25. That's really good for a flimsy escort. And this may be just heavy destroyer, but it's still relatively flimsy compared to a cruiser. 12% to all weapon damage, plus 5 actually, and plus 25 to shield hulls. So it's worth investing in that one. So that one goes back there. Upgrade. This is from the mission that kind of reintroduced Geordi, if you remember. 633, it's good for power transfer rate, is great because you're pumping weapon power out a lot, and it's going to recharge weapon faster. 23 hull restoration, so I'm willing to bet this is going to go up to 25. Yeah, 25. A 25% bonus in anything is really good. Because remember, we're not looking for uber consoles, because if it does too much too fast, they nerf it and people complain. Covert munition. This is one I'm kind of on the fence about if I'm going to keep. I don't need stealth and cloaking. Control expertise, resistance, same. Sure. This is weapon. This is something I could live without. The plus 20% to quantum projectile damage. I have a quantum torpedo. Sometimes I throw quantum torpedoes back on this thing, and it becomes a quantum hybrid torp ship. Really doesn't. Just for the control increase, maybe. And I'm only using one Phoenix. Not that big a deal. Put that one there. That one goes there. That one goes there. If anybody played the final mission where she's freaking out on Bashir, that was hilarious. Her voice actor's all calm and composed for like every appearance so far, and then she just blitzes out. Boom! Right up to 15. So we go from 14 plus 35.6 and plus 1.8 critical chance to 37, 1.9. Small things goes into big things. However, that great things start from small, whatever the hell that android says in Alien. Upgrade.
Bang. Bang. Claim item.
You should be able to have a computer voice and have it pick the voice. All the little radio buttons asking for confirmation. Have like, what's her name? Judy Duran, the woman that does the Kardashian computer voice in DS9. In some game she was mistakenly called Majel Roddenberry impersonator. They sound similar, but upgrade that. Or have like what Leonard Nimoy did and have it rename himself Frank Forrest for the male Excelsior computer.
Level, please. Thank you.
Up to get her shaft. Alright. Enough lollygagging. Let's take her for a spin. Other consoles I still have for Biomineral Gel Pack. It's handy. Some of these I can swap out. I like kit bonuses. And I don't actually have, just for the hell of it, what else do I have? See, it would boost this because this is technically a quantum torpedo. If I wanted to take that. I still have the wide angle. I like the wide angle. I sometimes pair it with the Kintari missile. So I got 360 degrees of arc, and I'm going through maps with a lot of small targets. I just kind of sit there and punch out kinetic energy, and I got a beam squirt, so I'm firing beams everywhere. I'm not doing a lot of damage, but it's slow, consistent, basically like a phaser energy hedgehog. So just for S's and G's, I'm going to upgrade this. Let's see what we got here. 2.4, 23 shield capacity, 24, a 2.5, 7% cooldown reduction. 7%. So not a huge. This is just for the heck of it, right? It looks like these older consoles are pretty quick to upgrade. So just for fun, I'm going to put that one in. And I don't use the plasmonic leech. It's not like it. Everyone says it's nerfed. Not everyone. People say it's nerfed. It's like, well, okay, it just doesn't hit as hard as I thought. Because I'm going to be running around circles, I can switch to beams. Otherwise, I might switch to these guys. One, two, three. One, two, three. These I'll save for later. Alright, let's take this for a run. Cataclysm. That ground uniform is a loose approximation of one of my cosplay uniforms at Vegas from 2 years ago. Basically black t-shirt, black ball cap, black pants. Someone asked me, I didn't know Starfleet had Under Armour. Well, they do. Alright. So you can see the phases are consistently in the 2000 range. The Omni's slightly less. Like there, now it's 15. 17. 17. So keeping everything down here running, and however you want to do it, like plus 50, almost 50% bonus damage for 20 seconds. For 20 seconds, every one of these is going to be doing 50% more. So you can see where if those little percentages at the beginning start to add up. And I'm actually glad I did notice an actual slight reduction in how fast these things were recharging. So getting rid of that munitions console is probably a good thing. The faster your bridge officers work, the faster you can do more damage, faster you can reset your buffs. Repetition. So let's hit on to the next person. Bonus of investing, solely investing in what you want. I can bin just about everything. So this guy only has 6 Phoenix upgrades. Did I already do this guy? Yeah, I didn't do this guy yet. What I can do is what little I got left. I can upgrade these. I'll get back to this guy later. Because logically what I should be doing is investing in the weapons, upgrading them, but for a quick slight boost, this applies to everything. See, I pumped enough points into this long time ago, back before they did this. I had extra points. They actually tracked how many points you've sunk into it. And I went way over with some of these, trying to get them maxed up. And they basically did that so you weren't wasting shit, really. Before I do that, hull, house Martok, defensive configuration. I'm gonna upgrade this first. What I can do, let's see if I... No, I'd have extra points. Alright. So we'll quickly run through this guy. This is my undercover mirror universe Dreadnought engineer. So there has to be a way to explain why you have duplicates of every single bridge crew. Like, well, they're from the mirror universe, or they're from the Kelvin universe, or whatever. Not that it makes that much a difference, but I find is if you, my Romulans, because I trigger heals more than I trigger damage or command abilities, they track healing too. So that's why those guys hit first, second, and third, and my non-Romulan characters almost rarely do that. So I'll just run through the characters really quickly and. That's what my wife cosplayed in Vegas. Y'all talked about Space Barbies. I went and married a Space Barbie. Well, that was grossly inappropriate. Salvage, salvage, salvage. What the heck is this? Oh, right, the multi-target. Kind of on the fence on when I should keep that one. That I should have been salvage. Why am I not using that shield? It's pretty near to me. Oh right, I was using quantum phase shield. Alright. Worst things worst. Second best, same as the first. Where is it? Right here. Probability of manipulation increased critical hit chance. So it sets critical chance for 50% for 15 seconds. So every second shot should crit. So if you have weapons with bonus to severity, which crit D, that doesn't have anything because it's a special weapon. That's something I can dump. Where the hell did that go? There. And from what I'm hearing from the pros is kind of a 1 to 10 ratio is good. This thing has 4 tactical consoles. And I already sank points to this one, so that's a free upgrade. Item has obtained maximum coolness. So plus 26 to heals, plus 13 to all weapon damage, which is good for a science ship, because science ships usually focus on exotic damage to make up the fact that you only usually have 3 weapons. This one has 4. Quantum phase converter, which is I think it's a must-have. Somewhere between should have and must-have. I think it's a must-have for phaser builds. If I ever get this thing maxed out, plus 26, let's go down. Plus 25 phaser damage, so an extra quarter to your damage. 3.8 auxiliary power, which is good for a science ship. Drain expertise. I'm big on shield grabbers, so that's a good one. And I like torpedoes. So that's the one. I like having that one. So more hull points, a little more weapon, a little more auxiliary. So auxiliary power is never a bad thing with a science vessel. And you get your half-second shared torpedo recharge time. So things get a little faster. Forced armaments. So hull heals, hull capacity, and then your power transfer rate, again, which is really good for science vessels because you'll be moving power back and forth. That gets moved there, that gets moved there. We'll move the one, two, three. And since I moved a few consoles, if you notice the last guy had to really quickly replace something I forgot I disabled. So your quantum destabilizing beam. For those either phaser fans, 2003. It's so basically another phaser array for 10 seconds to full -4 all power systems to self +4 all power systems per second for 10 seconds. So that's like plus 40. That pretty much replaces the plasmonic leech. Not entirely, but close enough. Still only got 8 left. 1, 2, 3. Because this one fires 360. And it's kind of counterintuitive to have, you usually have omnidirectionals and then you have duals up front. But the way I fly against the crystalline entity, sometimes it's better to do it this way. I have not got duals. Sometimes I switch to all disco weapons. I think I'm going to do that in the immediate near future. Like right shot there. And I'll throw the rest in here. 1, 2, and I'm out. Crystalline Catalysm ends in 10 days, 2 hours, 44 minutes. So you jump in every 20 hours. Now, I'm willing to bet that third place is mainly because of the heels. Where was it? Yeah, the protomatter field, right when I got hit with that blast while I was doing the Orca maneuver. Dun, 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 dun. Watch how I watch it on my phone, so whether like professionals or even just like enthusiastic amateurs like me, pay attention to how you put this together. And what I do is I order them in the first ones to the shortest cooldowns to the longest cooldowns, or this one's handy if I really need to quickly slap the 0 button and get it rolling. Or common ones right here. I almost rarely do it up here unless I'm trying to manipulate something on the screen, and then I got to drop down really quickly. And I like seeing the bridge power, so I kind of rarely use that one. But I find myself triggering it a lot, just so it's running. And I have drain infection, so even if it's really not doing anything substantial, like say the shields are super powerful, it's still doing that 50% shield penetration for radiation damage. I nicknamed this a vamp build when I first started doing it, where not only are you draining, you're not really worried about control, you're worried about draining it and infection. The ship's sneaky like that, because I used to use a recon science on this and wasn't super powerful. It got the job done. Excuse me. Alright, let's speed this up here. We've already been on for 50 minutes. Get some sleep soon. Change character.
Hello, ladies. I'm Private Savage. Better known as the deep voice guy on Renegades Radio. Look at the Robin next to you. Does he look like me? No, of course not. Can he sound like me? Perhaps.
I still think that the wing should move up a little bit so it looks like it's swooping down or something. Then in cruise mode, the wings go down like a bird of prey. But So I got third place, and all I did was focus on not getting blown up. That's why I loathe the concept of a glass cannon. It really doesn't do anything for your team.
I got my deeps, man.
Well, you keep blowing up, and dead ships don't do DPS. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. But if you look, my hull was rarely over 50%. Your go down fighting scales. Less hull percentage means more damage. Sure. This guy heal for a second. Romulan ships are unique and challenging to fly because they're quite flimsy. They're underpowered. They have the capability of hitting really, really hard. So that was my Fed Romulan. He was created during the Delta Recruit. Not the Delta Arc, but the Delta Recruit, where you go back in time and talk to yourself. Hey, don't do this. I'm going to give you a random device, and you're going to save the galaxy. See what they should have. Maybe no, I don't want to say should. I find myself reflexively sticking up for the developers because I just loathe hate in general. What they could have done was had a dystopian "we've lost the war" scene, and instead of going back at the end of the Breen arc, it's this dystopian, pseudo future where it happens at the exact same time, and the Temporal Age is like, you know what, get your ass back there and tell yourself how not to do this. And you're like, okay. And you go back in a torn up, shredded uniform. So there's no disparity in how you look at the end of the Breen arc. So you look at the end of the Breen arc, however you create your character. And I guess there's a default setting for what an admiral's supposed to look like in 18 months in the future. I think they're going to fix that. It's either 12 months or 18 months in the future from the day you graduate. So you're all tore up. It's like it's like the nightmare. Not really the nightmare. See, it's like your future scared, defeated self gives you the device. It's like Mortal Kombat where Raiden tells himself what not to do, and he winds up and does it anyway. most people, when they use the pilot lock trajectory, it's to keep cannons pointing. What I use it for is, maybe I had it backwards, but on this ship I have the experimental Raman plasma beam in the back for the bonus, for the plasma hyperflux. Enables a special fire mode on your experimental Raman plasma beam, right? It increases direct damage and applies a high damage plasma for 10 seconds and decreases damage for 10 seconds. So originally, before I switched to this version of the Warbird, I'd fly over somebody and that hyperflux would try and light the weakened target on fire. Well, with lock trajectory, you can actually spin your ship around in circles. These guys bear on target, and these bear on target, because they've kind of equaled everything out. And I've got all beam skills. I've got beam weapons, and I could switch this to a cannon. Then you waste all the resources wasted on beams. If I've got the spare time, I could consider switching to cannons. With the exception of one of the Raptors, I kind of dislike using cannons. It just, I don't know, it just seems like I was wasting rounds pointing in the wrong direction just because of the way I pilot. I gotta update that one too. Now the evil version of my primary character. Evil. So if you notice, he's actually a Delta recruit. He not only went back in time to talk to himself, he convinced himself to defect. So apparently it might be a similar concept for Discovery, where the character starts the Discovery era and then gets advanced to the 25th century for the rest of the mission content, which makes sense, and really we don't need another 60 to 100 missions just in the Discovery era. I would like a fully realized map where you have maybe the ability to go back for special missions or something. But it's got to the point where sometimes I've heard people create a TOS character just to stay in that map.
Destroyer.
Ooh, scary, scary. I'm pretty sure torpedoes were still hitting me as I exploded. So at 17, 12, 11. The hull's only 67, so the hull's a little harder than the Federation version. Shields are a little flimsier, so when Custodians are really good at ripping shields, I'm basically flying their ass.
Wow.
His name's actually a little in-joke. His original name was going to be Gua, but then he changed it to a Q, and whenever Rooster said it on air, it sounds like he was asking what in French. Such a jerk. Seems weird to use beams on a bird of prey, but then it starts spitting out tiny little torpedoes like that for the entire map. I would think, yeah, that'll look neat. Moving on. So these are my 3 temporal agents. One tactical, a Tellarite engineer, and very briefly at the beginning of the broadcast you saw my Vulcan science officer. Let's see if we can get this done in 90 minutes total.
Successfully joined queues. Stand by.
Wait your bloody turn. What really bothers me is when it pops up, you click accept, and then it immediately goes to, yeah, you're done, everyone declined.
You sons of bitches.
I think this ship looks cool, but tactically it's meh until I can kind of finish it. It's like it's got the flak shot artillery. It's not as stacked up as my other ships. It's just not actually done all the story with this. Took a bad hit and you see how fast I'm running, like, wait. Considering how weak this ship actually is, I'm kind of impressed I got second place. That one. Just normal red. See, these are blue. Literally blue. Like, Crate Age. Now, I haven't really sunk a lot of dill into updating this one, because I got purple level photon torpedoes. That's just part of the set. I haven't even finished. That's the only reason I kept both those weapons. And I never had the third one. 5% firing cycle haste for energy weapons, and then plus 15 flight speed. This is supposed to be a really fast escort, so it flies in, does damage. If it survives, hey, bonus. That one like automatically went to 15. That was 15. I don't know if they were gonna fix that with the very slowly get the engine speed up noise and very slowly putt out of the station. Meh. I haven't even taken these guys to the Iconian arc, actually. I think they got them as far as the end of the Temple arc with to the Breen episodes. This guy put a little extra more work into just to fine-tune it into a mirror version of a temporal ship. So what I'd like to do is modify him so he looks more like the kind of like Warhog mirror version of the Tellarites. Say what you want about how Disco reinvents. They take makeup and they kick it up a notch instead of like, we'll make Klingons different, but we'll leave everyone else exactly the same because we're bored. There were like, what, 5, 6 different versions of Andorian antennae and 2 Tellarites. I like the Enterprise version of Tellarites. I think it was a little more realistic than just a glorified pig mask. But then you look at the mirror version, and the guy looked badass. He looked like a really angry warthog. So it kind of let's face it, it makes sense. You have 5 different races on the Xindi homeworld that all look kind of the same, but not really, but sort of. And we can't have 24 some different versions of Klingons all evolving on different planets. Sure, the Tellarites can have like a warthog version and a Wilbur the pig version and the Enterprise in-between version. Makes sense. We all look different. Like all our different types of people. The human race, and then I don't want to say race, but like, you know, my people started to evolve different from people from Africa, because we're all longbacks. It's a joke. You can see I've already updated this guy a bit. So this thing will fire first. Dun dun dun. Do I have any left? I don't think I have any left. Not for here. I got a bunch of tiny ones here that I should probably get around to. I could probably just dump them on the open market. Alright, let's see how this guy does. I think I updated him after I did the event. So he's got 15s across the board. And I banked a lot of my Phoenixes. I actually thought it would take way more Phoenixes to get up to 15. I've kind of been banking them for another event. I do like the paint job.
An emergency call 999. Teleprime.
You can tell I'm an evil Tellarite because I'm a mirror ship and I speak with a British accent. Actually, that sounds more like a bastardized South African Australian accent, but hey, like we know the difference. Alright. I actually want to get rid of this. See, this would be pointless because I don't use emergency powers, which is weird on an engineer. Oh, yeah, now I know why I don't have an extra trade for this guy. Well, I guess we'll keep it for now. One trait I try and get on every ship that I probably shouldn't is stay on target. When I line up for a torpedo attack as I'm rotating around after a broadside, I have that little extra fuel 4 seconds, and if I happen to be stuck pointing in one direction, hey, if I'm going to be stuck here for 4 seconds, I might as well pop out a micro torpedo. It'd be nice if it progressively got faster though. So it was like, and if that overloaded your speaker, I apologize. I updated this a little. I did this all ass backwards. Made that 15, that was 15, that's 15, that's 15, that's epic, so I left it alone. I like the ship, it's cool looking. I made it look like the older version of the ship, but quite frankly, it's quite flimsy. It's hull still 50,000, but for some reason it just doesn't have the resistance. I didn't put the resistances in it skill-wise I did the other ships. I'm not really a min-maxer. I try and I understand why these guys did what they did. Child of Stone, Child of Sokar, sweet child of mine. I don't think Vulcans would like Guns N' Roses. Humans don't even like Guns N' Roses. Run away, run away, run away, run away.
Warning. Ship is under attack.
You came in that thing? You're braver than I thought. Alright, that took 1 hour 39 minutes. So, minus the time I was spent upgrading, I can get this done in about 90 minutes. So just for S's and G's, I might do that again tomorrow. Well, time for me to get some sleep after my long shift. I will bid you all adieu, and I will see you tomorrow.